Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Eddie here, and your boy is super out of breath because I dropped my mom off at JD Sports because we hit on the JD exclusive access stuff, and literally I had to park like a mile away, so she told me she was like 4 people deep, so I just basically had to run and catch up to her, and we just made it inside. So as y'all can see from the background, we are here at JD Sports Times Square, and your boy got that W, so the review's coming soon. Alright, I'll see y'all in a bit. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And for today's video, we have none other than the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found. And guys, I have to say, this is absolutely one of the sneakers of the year. And to me, I have to say it's between these, the Nike SB Dunk Low Huffs, as well as the Mamba Air Jordan 4s. But for today's video specifically, we are going to focus on these sneakers right here. I definitely saw a lot of people taking W's on the sneakers app. Unfortunately for me, I was not able to get a W on the sneakers app. However, big shout out to all the in-store raffles because I definitely hit big there, and I was actually able to get my double up on these beauties, man. I really love this shoe, and although there's some things that they could have done better with it, I do have to say overall the craftsmanship and the storytelling on this shoe is super fire. So speaking of craftsmanship and storytelling, let's just start off with the box first before I get into the details of this shoe right here. So when looking at the storyline of the sneaker, it actually has a lot of facets to it, but first I'm gonna focus on the brand of Nike itself. So when you look at Nike, it was actually founded as Blue Ribbon Sports in 1964. And when comparing it to other sneaker brands such as Adidas and Puma, which was founded in 1949 and 1948, these sneaker brands already had like almost 20 years ahead of Nike. So now to bring all that context back into the storyline of the shoe, we actually have this fake invoice right here of a fictional store called Sandy Bros Sports Depot. And obviously, as I mentioned before, this is not an actual store, but this is just kind of an idea that they had to kind of pay tribute to the mom and pop stores that Nike brand at that time actually had to go to and kind of sell them this sneaker. Because like I mentioned before, Nike was relatively a new brand compared to the other big dogs such as Adidas and Puma and the other sneaker brands that was around. But it's pretty cool when you look at this, because when you actually think about it, Nike brand at one point actually had to go into these mom and pop stores and actually give them a pitch and tell them why this Air Jordan 1 would be a great shoe for them to like buy up and have a contract with, which is pretty cool in my opinion. But another thing to note on this invoice receipt is the fact that you're probably not going to see it from here, but we actually have this kind of guy or athletic logo, whatever you want to call it, in the Nike airships, which actually came out the year before the Air Jordan 1, which I think is pretty dope in my opinion. And now when actually focusing more on the story of this box, it's pretty crazy because you can see this sale sign. You're probably not going to be able to see it too clear from this distance, but I'll have some B-roll for y'all. But it actually says sale on the box. And what's funny is at that point in time, the Jordan 1s wasn't really selling like that. It wasn't as hype and huge as it is now today that we know it. But it's really crazy when you think about it. So when you look at this box, you can see, hey, we have like damages around the box, and we also have a replacement box. So as you all should know, Nike definitely had like these orange kind of boxes back in the day. And if they didn't have the original Air Jordan 1 box, if this was staying here for a couple of years and they may have like misplaced the lid and threw it in the back in their in-house inventory or warehouse or whatever, you may have misplaced the lid, or the box might have broken and all that kind of stuff. So you may have had to give them like a damaged box, which is what is shown here, as well as a replacement from like another shoe that may not be selling. And I think that's really cool how we have this kind of damaged looking Nike orange lid, which, you know, if you had any Nike runners in the past, definitely seen this orange lid before. So I think that's a pretty cool touch to it. Then when you go into the inside of the shoe now, we actually have the wax tissue paper, which is the standard white one, so I'm not going to show that. But then we have a lot of promotional material on the actual like quality standard wax tissue paper. So I think it's really dope. And you can actually, oh damn, there's a little rip right here. But you can actually see we have Michael Jordan's first photo shoot with the Air Jordan 1s. I think this was in the black toe colorway right here. We have Jordan doing the Jumpman logo right there, which is pretty dope. And then we just have a lot more different details of the Nike Air Jordan 1. And it just goes to show you how big the company has become, because back then you had to do this amount of advertising for your sneaker to sell. And now you pretty much don't have to once you get big. So it's just crazy how this sneaker actually shows the distance that Nike has come as a company as a whole, and how pretty much mom and pop shops really saved the company and actually like made them what they are today. So I think that's some dope storytelling and just something that really makes this shoe as a whole look really good. Now guys, that's pretty much going to conclude the history of these sneakers. So now let's get right into the beautiful details of this Beautiful, beautiful shoe, man. I love this shoe a lot. I do have to say my one gripe would probably have to be the black cracked leather on the top ankle area right here. Other than that, I think all of the extra details work out for me personally. Because one more time, the whole storyline about this shoe is it being thrown away into like your inventory or your warehouse, forgetting like that you even had the Air Jordan 1 there, and then finding it pretty much 35, 37 years later after the shoe came out. And this is pretty much how it would look. Obviously, it would probably crumble in your hands, but this is kind of the whole idea. So now when focusing on the toe box of the shoe, you can actually see that it's that white Chicago leather toe box. However, if you look closer into the details of it, it does have that actual cracked looking leather. But what I love about this shoe is the fact that it's not as bad as the Amama Air Jordan 1. It doesn't look as like cracked as the Amama Airs, and it doesn't like shave at all. So I'm like rubbing it right now and nothing is coming off. So I think that's pretty dope how they were able to add that concept onto the shoe without it being too invasive or too annoying that, you know, it's gonna like stick onto your clothes or anything like that. So next, when going onto the top of the shoe, you can actually see that it's laced up like this. So we have the white lace at the bottom, and then we have the black lace right on top of that. But I'm actually not gonna wear any of these laces. I actually bought some sale laces, which I'll show you in a second, and I think they look even better than the white lace comparison. But now when focusing on the tongue of the shoe now, you can actually see that we have that nylon tongue right there, and we do have this kind of like cream insert. So it's padded with this kind of like creamy material, and that's why you get that sail look on the tongue, which I think looks really dope. And when we move to the top of the tongue, you can see that we have that Nike Air logo right there, which again is in that Varsity Chicago colorway. But now when looking at the lateral side of the shoe, guys, I think it looks really dope, and it's just, again, the Jordan 1 is one of the best models of all time. I think the Royal Blues are my personal favorite of all time, but the Chicago comes into a close second right there, bro. But what they did with this reimagined pair is actually give a combination mix of the high Air Jordan 1 85 as well as the current retro look. So if you look at this shoe, it kind of has like different takes of both parts of the shoe. So I think it's like 50% new retro look, 50% high 85. So I do kind of wish they did just give us that OG classic look, but again, I think they take a lot of high 85 features, so I'm not really complaining completely about that. So first of all, guys, let's start off with the white quarter panel right here. So you can actually see we still have that crackled leather. It is not really that bad, guys. Like, to me, I think it looks good, but I know some people again are going to complain about that, but I actually like this kind of like different take on the shoe. Then we have that bigger Nike check logo right there in this black cut leather. I think it's actually pretty thick by the way it like feels, which I think is really good. Then we have this, which is one of my favorite details about the shoe. We have this D-Boss Air Jordan Wings logo, and I think that looks really clean. To me, it looks way better than the current retro models, but looks almost exactly like the high 85 look, which is again one of the features that the high 85 has. So I think that looks really clean as well. Then we have the black cracked leather. I think it looks okay. I definitely wish that it did have the more like solid black look. And then when we go onto the medial side, guys, the same thing pretty much follows suit. We have the same white quarter panel on the medial side. We have the black leather check, and then we have, you know, the same varsity red hits. So I think overall, guys, this shoe is pretty fire, man. But first, before I conclude the details of this shoe, let's look at the left side real quick. And this is where I put on the sail laces, guys. Please let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I think it was a great idea. It kind of makes the shoe pop a little bit more while still keeping it clean with that kind of sail look. And I'm actually happy the sail laces came in today, the same day I actually picked up the shoes. So I think they look super clean, guys. I'm just in love with it. You know, I definitely think the white and black laces have their own thing and they just work with the Chicagos. But with this lace variant, I think it just looks too clean, man. But before I conclude, guys, I have one more thing to show y'all. So both of these shoes actually come with the polyurethane insole right here. So again, it's just for more comfort. It's not really gonna make a huge difference. We all know that the Jordan 1s are a pretty flat shoe. So, you know, it is what it is on that. And then when we look at the outsole, you can actually see that we have this kind of age-looking material on that beautiful herringbone traction pattern. So you do see that it is predominantly in that varsity red for the Chicago colorway, but they have these kind of like, I don't want to say like acetone hits. Like, I don't know what chemical reaction they did to kind of give the outsole this look, but I do think that that looks really dope in my opinion. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much going to conclude the history and the details of the shoe. So now let's get right into this on full look, all right? Guys, that's gonna conclude the review as well as the on for look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for y'all. I really have to say this Air Jordan 1 Chicago Reimagined, Lost and Found, whatever you want to call it, is definitely going to be a top contender for sneaker of the year. Yeah, I have my gripes about it, but no shoe was 100% perfect. But for what it is, and for the craftsmanship, for the storyline, for everything they just did with this whole entire release, allowing a lot of people to get their hands on this beautiful pair, I have to say this release was a hitter in my opinion, and definitely is going to be one of the biggest contenders for sneaker of the year, if not the sneaker of the year. Again, I gave y'all my top 3, which I think is going to be one of those 3 is definitely going to be #1 for sneaker of the year, and that is, one more time, these, the Amama Air Jordan 4s, as well as the Nike SB Dunk Low Huffs. And yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much the review. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends and family and all that. Make sure that y'all keep doing what y'all doing to help push the YouTube algorithms and help my channel grow. And other than that, I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.